Hello and welcome back. Right then, so from the top of this video, I've got to be completely honest with you guys. I am pretty nervous today. This is the day when I'm going to attempt to start up this 1981 BMW R100 CS. 42 years old, same age as me, and it has been completely rebuilt. So this engine is, for all intents and purposes, brand spanking new, new pistons, new everything. It's had a top end and a bottom end rebuild. So anything could happen in this video. The engine obviously not the only thing that's been rebuilt, all the carburetors and the gearbox and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully we'll be able to get it to start up, but I'm not expecting it to run completely smoothly because there's so many things to adjust on the bike. The carbs have got to be adjusted, the timing's got to be adjusted. I've set the static timing on it, so I got a strobe in there, turned it over on the starter motor and just made sure that at least the kind of static timing was taken care of. If we manage to get it started up, the next thing to do will be to set the full advance and all that, but that hasn't been done, so who knows what it's actually going to run like. Other things that I've done on the bike, I've really been like trying to find little things to do to kind of buy me a little bit more time before this day, which has been good because it's meant that I've just got a lot of bits and pieces done. The exhaust system's now on the bike. It's not quite a small thing really, is it? That kind of needed to happen. And as you can see with these pipes, they are really looking in a good state now. These are the pipes that came with the bike when I got it. And I'll tell you what, they weren't looking so nice when I took them off the bike, but they've been polished up. They're stainless steel and they look absolutely as good as new. So really happy with how they turned out. Getting these installed on the bike was a complete ball ache. It's just trying to line everything up. It's got two balance pipes on it. It's got one at the front and one at the rear. So it kind of forms like a kind of square section under the bike. Getting all that aligned, getting that, around the center stand and all that good stuff, just painful. But we're on. So that's good. All tightened up and hopefully there's no leaks in that. So we'll soon find out. Another thing I've done is also just clean up some of the excess sealant that was hanging around on the cylinder barrels as well, where it meets the engine case. That was looking a little bit excessive, so just trim that back and given that a much cleaner look as well. Also, I've done things like the clutch cable, so that's installed, the speedo cable, obviously the throttle cables and all that for the carburetors. I have also done a little bit of painting as well. So when I took the seat off this bike, it looked like it had been bathed in an ocean of hammerite. Not particularly nice. So that I stripped off with some proper paint stripper, managed to get rid of all of that, and then I've primed it and given that a good spraying with a product from Palatine Paints. It's their kind of military chassis paint. It looks really good quality. It looks like it's gone on really, really well, so I'm happy with that. And also things like the dials up on the dash, so like the voltage meter and the clock and all that. Just repainted the bezels and all, and just kind of brought those up to scratch. So yeah, lots of little bits and pieces that I've got done, but really that all means absolutely nothing unless we get past this stage. Now, as I said, static timing is set. The carbs are all completely kind of rebuilt and new and not set up properly. They're kind of set to a rough default, but it's bound to be a little bit lumpy. So I don't know how this is going to go. I'll stick it on the choke. We'll try and spin it over, see if we can get the choke off, see if we can get it to idle. And then what I'm going to do is just give it a little bit of throttle, get it up to about 3,000 RPM, just hold it there for a little bit so that we can try and seat the new piston rings and all that kind of stuff. I know it's counterintuitive to what you normally do on a cold engine, but that's what we've got to do just to get those rings bedded in for this very first startup. That's, of course, if it actually starts up. So no more chat, time's up. Let's stick the key in it, keep everything crossed, hope engine does not go bang, hope it all starts up, and let's see what we've got. Let's do it. Here goes nothing, guys. actually worked. Oh my God. It turned over. Nothing exploded. There was plenty of smoke as expected. So thankfully that's kind of since stopped. It's just things like assembly lube and little bits of grease here, there and whatever. Actually seemed to run pretty okay. I have noticed one thing. It seems to be, the idle seems to be hanging a little bit. So that could be a number of things. It could be that the mixture's off on the carbs. It could be caused by the fact that the full advanced timing hasn't been properly set yet. It could be something like an air leak, but I doubt it. But we'll kind of just, you know, go through all the usual steps in terms of tuning the thing up and hopefully figure that out. But yeah, it was definitely hanging a little bit. It seems to be idling around 1,500 RPM, which is maybe a touch high. I could possibly bring that down a little bit. And I did also hook up the multimeter just now as well before filming this bit, just to confirm that the charge system seems to be working. So we seem to be getting around 14 volts from the battery once we've applied a little bit of throttle. So yeah, all good. I mean, you couldn't really ask for it to go a whole lot better than that. My only other observation was that it seems to be a little bit hotter on one cylinder than it is on the other as well. So that's obviously, I say obviously, who actually knows, but it's probably something to do with the mixture adjustment on one of those carburetors. So I need to look at that, and I can tell it was a little bit hotter because we've got a little bit of straw kind of color coming through on one of the pipes and not on the other, but both pipes and both heads were getting really hot. So it's definitely firing on both cylinders. Yeah, so well chuffed with that. It absolutely stinks in here. So I'm going to let a little bit of air in, and I will love you and leave you for now. But in the next one, we'll get the bike outside. We can get it on, give it a proper run, get the fuel tank on it, and then really we've got to get the strobe out again to do the full advanced timing. We've got to get the carb tuner on it so that we can have a look at you know, the balance and all that kind of stuff. And we might need to play around with the mixtures and things like that to see if we can address that idle hanging and that slight temperature difference between the two cylinders. But for now, she turns over, she seems to be okay. And that is a massive, massive weight off my shoulders, I tell you that much. Happy days. Right, onwards and upwards. A few more little bits and pieces to get done on this bike. And you know what? I reckon it's not long before we're going to be out on the road. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Until the next one, ride safe.